Right, good morning. We're back with another video, and today's one is all around content. So something which always comes up, right, is impressions and how do you get more views on your content. I thought, you know, I'll just talk through some of the key things that I do every single day when it comes to trying to get more visibility, more credibility, that inevitably should generate more opportunity, right? Now, there's a few big things with this, and you've got to pay attention to it, because if you don't, you're going to end up just being ignored constantly. So I speak to probably 3 businesses every single day around their content strategy at the moment, because it's a huge topic, and especially on LinkedIn, people's content has reduced quite significantly. Impressions are down, people aren't even getting 1,000 impressions, and it's just not working. And it's down to an algorithm change that kind of went live towards the back end of 2025, and you can read all on this, by the way. If you go and type in LinkedIn algorithm updates, LinkedIn do like little briefs on this. They're the most boring papers in the world, but they do them, and it's what we read to actually get all of our intel. That sort of stuff is much better than these random LinkedIn algorithm reports that you see that actually just give you pointless information that doesn't help you. It's actually really, really simple. If you think about the logic behind, I'm going to talk about LinkedIn today. I'll talk about other platforms in another video, but LinkedIn specifically, you are encouraged to go out there and build your network up, right? So if you're posting every single day, one of the things which you most likely are also doing is using your connection requests. So you can use between 100 and 150 of those requests every single week, and you are probably looking to connect with your ideal customer, right? So directors, founders, co-founders, CEOs, that could be an example for you if you're watching this right now. The reason why the content isn't performing is because if you're looking to connect with those people and then you're trying to focus your content on the stuff that you do, so like let's say you are, I don't know, in recruitment as an example, or in leadership, we'll use both of those examples. Say you're in recruitment and you're talking about you're giving people recruitment advice, and you're sharing your journey growing your recruitment consultancy, and you're talking about top tips and lessons and things that you've learned. The issue that you have is that the people that you're connecting with, they have no idea who you are, they have no idea your credibility, they're not on LinkedIn for recruitment advice, right? And so your content is never going to do well, quite simply because you haven't earned the right and you haven't earned their respect. If you were the best recruitment consultant in the world and you had a huge brand and you were well known, most likely people are going to pay attention when you give recruitment advice. Same with leadership. If you're a leadership consultant that's been in your corporate career for 20 years and you're now a consultant on leadership or careers or anything like that, for you to be able to get these founders, these random people, right, connecting with you and then engaging in your content, you've got to earn the right to be able to do so. And there's a way to be able to play this platform the right way, which I'm going to go into in this video. But we've got to have that as the first realization, that your content has to be written in a way that actually gets people interested in what it is that you've got to say. And let's just look at an example, right? I, in my workshops, use an example of Oxford Street, or a busy shopping street. Just like you wouldn't take advice from a random person just shouting, right? If we think Oxford Street is the newsfeed, you wouldn't take advice just from some random person walking in the middle of Oxford Street going, "Hey, look, these are my leadership lessons. Hey, look, this is what I believe. This is my advice." We've all seen the and I've got nothing against them, just before anyone jumps down my throat, but you know, the people that are like the religious preachers that stand there with the megaphone like on the street. Like, we don't listen to those people. We go, "What are you on about?" and we walk past. That is what's happening on social media right now. We're connecting with loads of people and then we're just trying to shove what we believe down their throats. Now, there is a way to therefore be able to do this, because you're probably sitting there going, "Well, great, Chris. Now I'm trying to build my LinkedIn audience up with my ideal clients. But now what? What else do I do?" Well, here's the thing. There is overlap between new connections and the things that you talk about, right? If you think about like like a circle on the left hand side of the new connections and a circle on the right hand side of the things that you talk about. There's the overlap in the middle, and the overlap in the middle is what connects you together, and it's things that you have in common. Now, to begin with, when you first start connecting with someone and talking to them, you don't know what that is, okay? And you're going to be adding lots and lots of people in. This is why we always say, when you're building your audience up, to begin with, if you want to talk about your specialist subject, don't just connect with ideal clients. Connect with people that actually have an interest in what it is that you talk about. Because you know what? The CEO might not give a crap about your leadership advice, but other leadership coaches that you see as your competitors, right? They actually might go, do you know what? Yeah, I agree with that, and they'll applaud it. They'll be interested in it because it's what they do every day. And so therefore what happens is your engagement goes up, the perception of credibility goes up because you're getting more and more people engaging underneath it. And therefore a leader, if they see a huge amount of reactions and a huge amount of comments underneath it, they're probably more likely to pay attention to it, which is not what anyone wants to hear, but it's the truth, right? Your vanity metrics are a perception, and the perception we need to leverage if you want to get your message heard in this kind of way. But to go back to like the overlap, the thing that you've got to do, so that gap in the middle, that overlap, you've got to figure out what are the topics that connect you two together. And these typically are big topics, and opinionated always wins when it comes to this, right? So if you want to get their attention, I'm not saying that you have to go out there and talk about politics, right, at all. But if you're in leadership, or you did leadership, and I'll give you another example in a second, but if you're in leadership, right, government leaders, so people like Keir Starmer resigning, people like Donald Trump that are talking, if you go and talk about their leadership principles and what you agree and what you disagree, that leader will actually, that CEO, that founder, will look at that and go, oh yeah, I know Donald Trump, yeah, I know Keir Starmer, be a bit more drawn into it. Well, that's quite good advice, that, yeah, I appreciate that, and they'll engage with it. You're using a topic of interest to gain their attention. And this is the thing that people forget about. So your exercise, if you're watching this and you want to start winning, is to make sure that you start talking about the things that people are interested in. Because otherwise, you end up just falling behind, okay? So that's one thing that you've got to do. Another example that you could use in this is like in the social media world. Like I did a post the other day, and I see people talking about this all the time. It's like, to be able to get your engagement up, you've got to go and engage yourself. I saw that post the other day. I'm like, what absolute nonsense. I don't engage at all. I don't have time to go and comment on 50 people's content that I don't really care about. That's the truth, I don't. So why does my content perform really, really well? Why do normally one post every week reach 70,000 people and the rest of them hit 3,000 to 5,000? Well, number one is because I've earned the right of lots of my connections' time and respect, so they like what I have to say. But also I talk about topics that everyone's got an opinion on, that's related to what it is that I do. So I did one the other day just around direct messaging, the most simplest post you could ever think of, but the amount of people that agreed and disagreed with it, you know, it was really interesting to hear. But it positioned me as the authority in the space around direct messaging, which we've been doing for a very, very long time. Like, that's the way to be able to do it. You cannot just expect your content to perform well because you're building your audience up, because the reality is that the people that you're connecting with don't know who you are, don't care about you, and don't really want to hear what you've got to say. Just like the Oxford Street analogy, shouting into the void. You've got to find a way to be able to do it. Now, on Friday at 1 PM, I'm running a workshop on it, 26th of June. It's completely free to attend. It's going to be about an hour long, and I'm going to be talking to you all about the algorithm in detail. But most importantly, what you can do to win, like to actually master it, to learn what the platform wants. I'm going to be covering that off. I'm also going to be covering how you can completely ignore it if you want to. So like, actually, content isn't the biggest lead generator in the world. If you're trying to win new business on LinkedIn, content isn't the answer. Content is brand awareness, and it really helps your overall lead generation, but it's not the thing that's going to put leads into your inbox unless you get a little bit lucky. And I don't like luck. Not everybody can get lucky, right? It's all about timing. So I prefer to be in control. So if you want to come to that, the link will be in the description. It's tomorrow at 1 PM. I'm recording this now. It's, what time is it? 6:25 on Thursday morning. I'm just driving down to a company where I'm doing some consulting today, a social media strategy day. We're going to be going through their corporate strategy for the next 6 months, which will be really, really good. And this is one of the topics, actually, content. So if you are still watching at this point, 10 minutes in, please do, if you could, just like the video. I think this is working now. Like, we're getting some momentum behind this. So please keep liking the video if you're enjoying the content and you're finding it valuable. Only like the video if you found this valuable, right? If you don't find it valuable, don't like it. Please do subscribe as well if you're enjoying the videos. There's more of these coming up. I get my new car on Saturday, so this will be one of the last videos in the Audi. The Audi's going back on Monday, and so we're going to drive down. So I live in Leeds, driving down to Bracknell today, then I'm going back up to Leeds. Saturday back down to Northampton to drop this bad boy off. My mum's then driving me down to Southampton to pick up the Tesla, and then I'm going to drive the Tesla back home, and then on Sunday we go out to Croatia for a retreat. So if you want to know my diary, that's my diary. Today, strategy day. Tomorrow we've got a really important baby scan, and then I've got the webinar that I'm running in the afternoon. Saturday picking up the new car in Southampton. Sunday fly to Croatia to mentor on a retreat. This is going to be fun in 30-degree weather. I hope you're all having an amazing day, and I'll see you all soon. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.